Just a tragic situation. Now, our crew was here on Saturday morning when we first learned about this shooting. Now, I saw a man getting arrested, as well as a young boy. He had to be around 5 years old, standing in the front yard. Now, residents I spoke with off camera tell me that they're stunned something like this would happen here, especially since it's so quiet. I saw people running, walking their dogs, and even biking with their kids.
She was shot to death last Saturday. Police say the man that pulled the trigger is her own father.
"22-year-old Alicia Ellis was a beacon of warmth, compassion, and resilience. A young woman whose vibrant spirit left a lasting impression on everyone she met. Described by friends and neighbors as someone who always wore a smile and greeted others with genuine kindness, Alicia carried herself with grace and a quiet strength that belied her age. She dreamed of building a future in healthcare, driven by her natural instinct to care for others and a deep desire to make a meaningful difference in people's lives. While juggling part-time college classes, Alicia worked diligently at a local retail store to support herself and her loved ones. But what truly defined her was her selfless devotion to her family, especially her role as a loving, attentive mother to her young son, whom she adored beyond measure. Alicia went above and beyond to provide him with love, stability, and the sense of security every child deserves. In her apartment complex, Alicia was a familiar and welcome presence. Whether she was lending a helping hand to elderly neighbors, carrying groceries for someone in need, or simply offering a kind word, she was the kind of person who made her community feel like home. She had dreams, she had plans, she had so much life left to live. But in a cruel and heartbreaking twist of fate, everything changed. What began as another ordinary day would soon unravel into a devastating chain of events, altering the lives of Alicia and her son in ways no one could have imagined. Just before 10 a.m. on the morning of May 31st, officers with the Richmond Police Department were dispatched to the 700 block of Harrison Street, following urgent reports of a shooting and a potentially armed individual. What they arrived to was far more than just a call for service. It was a scene of confusion and distress, the kind that carries the weight of something deeply wrong. Emergency lights flashed as officers worked to secure the area, unsure at first of what exactly they were walking into. Neighbors stood outside in shock, some visibly shaken, others exchanging anxious whispers. As the situation slowly unraveled, what initially appeared to be a random act of violence began to reveal a far more chilling and heartbreaking reality.
A violent day in the capital city. Major crimes detectives working three separate incidents behind me in 12 hours. We start off with a shooting that left one woman dead in the 700 block of South Harrison Street. Police say around 10 a.m. they were called after a report of a person with a gun. When officers arrived, they found the woman with gunshot wounds. She died at the scene. Sources tell me a suspect has been arrested, and police are not looking for anyone else. Detectives are trying to determine a motive.
The victim was identified as 22-year-old Alicia Ellis, a young mother whose life was tragically cut short inside her own home. Despite emergency efforts to save her, Alicia was sadly pronounced dead at the scene. As detectives began to process the grim scene, they were confronted with a deeply disturbing reality. Alicia had been shot and killed by her own father, 55-year-old Alonzo Ellis. Even more horrifying, when officers arrived, they found Alonzo still clutching the firearm in one hand and his grandson, Alicia's young son, in the other, as her lifeless body lay nearby on the floor. According to statements made by Alonzo, what began as a heated argument between father and daughter suddenly escalated into deadly violence. But what exactly led to that moment remains unclear. The emotional shock of the situation has left both authorities and community members grasping for answers. What could have caused a father to take such a devastating step? Was this the result of long-standing tensions that have been simmering beneath the surface for years? Were there warning signs that went unnoticed? These are just a few of the questions investigators are now urgently trying to answer. Police have confirmed that the shooting took place inside the apartment, but the full context and motive remain under active investigation. Authorities have stated that the case involves complex family dynamics, but have withheld further details, citing the sensitive nature of the ongoing inquiry.
Horrific details coming out of these court documents that we were able to obtain. The arresting officer noting in an interview with 55-year-old Alonzo Ellis, Ellis admitted to shooting his 22-year-old daughter in front of his grandson after an argument. Court records state Richmond police were called to the 700 block of South Harrison Street on May 31st for a man holding a child and a gun. When officers arrived to the family's apartment just before 10 a.m., they found 22-year-old Alicia Ellis down on the floor, dead with an apparent gunshot wound. Again, in the arresting officer's interview with Alonzo Ellis, Ellis confirmed to police after an argument he shot his own daughter while holding his grandson. Ellis now faces 2 charges, shooting within an occupied dwelling and child neglect. Additional charges are pending.
The community is heartbroken and stunned. In a city already grappling with rising gun violence, this incident has struck an especially painful chord. Many are left wondering how such a tragedy could happen in what should have been a safe, loving family space. As neighbors mourn and place flowers near the home, law enforcement officials urge the public to be patient, avoid speculation, and allow the investigative process to unfold fully. What is certain is this: a young mother is gone, a child is left without her, and a family is shattered in a way that can never be fully repaired.
I miss her so much. I love her, and I miss her so much, and it's only been a week.
A prayer vigil was held for Alicia Ellis. She was shot to death last Saturday. Police say the man that pulled the trigger is her own father. You may remember a week ago, police were called to the 700 block of South Harrison Street for a report of a gunman. When officials arrived, they found her with gunshot wounds. Today, neighbors and loved ones lit candles, held a moment of silence, and wore blue colors to honor Ellis and to keep her memory alive.
55-year-old Alonzo Ellis now faces multiple serious charges in connection with the tragic shooting that claimed the life of his daughter, 22-year-old Alicia Ellis. While he has not been charged with murder, the charges levied against him speak to the alarming nature of the events that unfolded inside the family's Richmond apartment. Ellis has been formally charged with reckless handling of a firearm, a charge that may suggest the shooting was not premeditated. However, the situation becomes more troubling with the addition of a felony child neglect charge, raising deeper concerns about the safety and dynamics within the household, particularly as the shooting occurred while he was holding Alicia's young son. He also faces a charge of discharging a firearm within an occupied dwelling, underscoring the potential danger not only to Alicia and her child, but to anyone else who may have been inside the home at the time. Alonzo Ellis is currently scheduled to appear in court on June 23rd, where further details may emerge about the case and the circumstances surrounding the shooting. In the meantime, the community remains in mourning, grappling with the shock of such a deeply personal and heartbreaking loss. As investigators work to piece together the full picture, many are left with unanswered questions and a shared hope that the justice system will bring clarity, accountability, and some measure of peace to a family and a neighborhood shaken by this tragedy. Rest in peace, Alicia Ellis.